I think we have been totally conned and scammed into believing that aging is this horrible process, and the moment you hit 40, you look horrendous and elderly and washed up, and there's nothing you can really do about it except buy a bunch of expensive products and go under the knife. Lies. These are complete lies, and we're going to get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Sincerely Cassandra XOXO, where we discuss all things beauty, femininity, wellness, and self-image. Today, I wanted to talk about aging and how it's something we all dread, especially as women. And it seems like more and more women in their early 20s are so concerned with aging that they're undergoing cosmetic procedures. It's like they think the second they turn 35, their faces are going to be withered away and shriveled, but that's not the case. I've been doing some research, and when it comes to aging, particularly skin aging, which is what we're going to focus on, it's really broken down into two types of factors: intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. Intrinsic factors are things you can't change, like your genetics and how our bodies naturally change over time. Think about things like hormonal changes, like menopause, and how our bodies produce less collagen as we age. All of these normal things that just happen to everyone, really just the facts of life. But what I'm going to really focus on is extrinsic factors, which are factors that are more in our control. So I'm going to give a brief overview of these, and I'm also going to go through some case studies of select women who are over 40 to show you how they've aged so well. Now you might be thinking, but Cassandra, the women I know in her 40s, 50s, or 60s, etc., they do really look wrinkled and dried up. And there are a couple of really key things to consider. I found this study called Beyond Photo Aging: Additional Factors Involved in the Process of Skin Aging, and this study is actually a meta-analysis, meaning that it's compiled the findings of multiple other studies to draw their conclusions. I'll link it in the description, and I encourage everyone to read it because it is so informative. This really goes through so many things that impact our skin and how it ages. So using this as my framework, I want to first give some context as to why maybe we aren't used to seeing people around us look good as they age. Number one is that smoking used to be a lot more common than it is now. So it's very possible that these women who are now older, who you've seen age, were smokers for at least part of their lives, and maybe that has sped up their aging process. So if you're a non-smoker, you're already way ahead of a lot of people in the previous generations. According to the American Osteopathic College of Dermatology, some of the effects that smoking cigarettes has on your skin are the yellowing of the fingernails, discoloration of the teeth, and even a black, hairy tongue, which I don't even want to know what that looks like. And those are also just the short-term effects. The long-term effects include dry skin, uneven skin pigmentation, baggy eyes, meaning like deeper, darker bags under the eyes or shadows, deeper wrinkles, and a saggy jawline. And then here's the part that really got me. The article goes on to say it is common for the skin of a 40-year-old heavy smoker to resemble that of a 70-year-old non-smoker. Just let that sink in. So if you already don't smoke, that's awesome. And if you do smoke, take this as your sign to quit. These are just some of the superficial effects, and they're not even the worst things about smoking. I will link some resources below, but please, please, please take this as your sign. If you take nothing else from this video, take this as your sign. On a similar note, I imagine that in about 10 years or so, we'll have data on vaping and how it affects the skin, and I'm gonna guess that it isn't gonna be good. But honestly, like, vaping just gives me such an ick, especially after coming across this reel on Instagram.
Oh my God. I just got a new fancy schmancy Mercedes, okay? My Mercedes just... Oh my God, I can't even talk. Do you want proof that vaping is bad for you? Let me show you something. Okay, so my new Mercedes has a HEPA filtration system. Is very similar to like what's in the operating room, which it literally takes the outside air. Right now, the outside air isn't coming in, but if it is coming in, it will take it and put it through these HEPA filters. Well, it shows right now the outside air is 8, which it's pretty good here in Fort Worth. The inside is a 1. Okay, that means it's already better than it was outside. Do you want to see what happens? This was accidental. I was on the screen. Kevin took a little puffy puff of a vape, and he blew it down into the floorboard. Watch what happens. So Kevin's gonna puff of his vape, and he's gonna just blow it down into the floorboard like he did naturally last time. So he puffed it out. Watch this. Watch this. Look what's happening. Oh my God. 93? Unhealthy? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, so now that I'm off my smoking rant, I also want to remind everyone that most Americans are not healthy, and the introduction to Beyond Photo Aging discusses diabetes specifically. Diabetes is a really serious chronic illness, and it has major impacts on how you age. Not just in appearance, although the effects on appearance are significant. The most recent statistics from the National Institute of Health say that 14.7% of the US adult population is diabetic. And you might be thinking, oh, that's not so bad. But according to the NIH, 38% of adults in the US, meaning between the ages of 18 and 65, 38% of this population has prediabetes. If you have prediabetes, that means you are not healthy and you're not consuming the right kinds of foods or getting enough activity. Your glucose level is far too high. So put together 14.7% and 38%, and you're at over half the US adult population with glucose levels that are too high. So I understand that type 1 diabetes is genetic and can't be controlled. So some of that 14.7% just got dealt a tough hand in life, and I would never shame anyone for that. In their case, type 1 diabetes would be an intrinsic factor for them. But 38% of the population is eating too much junk food and not moving enough, because prediabetes is only for type 2 diabetes. And that 38% doesn't include the elderly. And yes, I'm aware that genetics play a role in type 2 diabetes too. It actually runs in my family, particularly in the women in my family. So because I am aware of this, I'm much more conscientious about my food choices, and we're going to get to that soon with our case studies. But basically, I just wanted to give everyone watching a sort of baseline understanding of why maybe we don't see a lot of people aging well around us. And we assume that if someone is, they must be getting every type of invasive cosmetic procedure, when the solution could actually be a lot more simple. But I think the scam is that we're sold this trash food that makes us sick, and then we're sold these expensive products and fixes like facelifts and fad diet systems to try to give the appearance of youth and a healthy glow, when we could actually just be healthy. Doesn't that make more sense to just live a healthy lifestyle? And lastly, another big difference from previous generations is that we all understand the importance of sunscreen more now. The previous generations were burning a hole in the ozone and lathering themselves in baby oil. I've repeatedly seen experts state that up to 80% of the visible signs of aging can be attributed to sun exposures. So wearing your daily SPF is a really easy way to prevent skin damage and premature aging. So for my case studies, I'm going to discuss two women who have gone viral for how well they've aged. They're both over 40, and they are both normal people with normal salaries. Jolene Diaz is a teacher in California who is 47 years old at the time of filming this video. She has gone viral several times with her 20-something daughter because they look like they could be sisters. She's actually been on a few talk shows because people can't believe how young she looks. So obviously, teachers aren't known for making a lot of money, and so Jolene can't rely on expensive treatments like many celebrities do. She's also obviously blessed with great genetics, but it's clear she maintains her looks with a healthy lifestyle. She has an effective skincare routine that includes tretinoin, but she really doesn't change it up much. And in fact, her skincare routine video is titled "Skincare I've Done Since My 20s." One tip I really loved from this video is that she puts retinol on her hands and then moisturizes them. And hands really give away your age, so I thought this was so smart. Jolene has a really clean diet. She doesn't eat dairy most of the time because she's lactose intolerant, and she's also usually gluten-free. I'm not sure if that's by choice or not. She relies on fish and eggs as her main sources of protein. Occasionally she'll eat chicken, but she doesn't eat red meat or pork. She has a few what I eat in a day videos that are really helpful. She eats a lot of produce, so whether that's fruits, potatoes, and she also likes nuts a lot. She says she keeps fruit on hand as a snack so she doesn't reach for junk foods, and I personally do the same thing with apples. Jolene drinks plenty of water throughout the day. She doesn't drink alcohol or smoke. I briefly mentioned the negative impacts of alcohol before on this channel in my video about Megan Fox, who also lives a sober lifestyle. Alcohol consumption definitely qualifies as an extrinsic factor. A separate extrinsic factor that affects how the skin ages is hydration, and since alcohol is a diuretic, it dehydrates the body. So it dries out the skin and lips, and it can also make your eyes appear more sunken. And this can become worse over time with continued regular drinking. Alcohol also inflames the skin, which is what can cause redness. This is usually temporary, but if you drink consistently over time, the redness can become more permanent, and alcohol can even make rosacea worse. Jolene works out by running and doing various strengthening workouts, which she has made a couple videos of. The videos she has don't require any equipment except a yoga mat, so she's not spending tons of money on fancy classes or gimmicky products. There's a clip of her at the gym with her daughter from an Inside Edition video, and the gym looks like a Planet Fitness, which is probably the cheapest gym chain in the United States. And just as an anecdote, I was at my spin class last week, and my spin instructor is 60. She looks about 45, and she's my personal health inspiration. But last week, there were 2 women in my class who I didn't recognize, but who clearly knew my instructor. And they looked like friends around the same age. I didn't really look at them too closely. And while we were sort of setting up, the instructor told the class that working out is the key to life, and then pointed out the 2 ladies and said that they're mother and daughter, and they look like they could be sisters. And they sort of turned around and waved at everyone, and it was like, damn, they look good. So it's really easy to see these kinds of things go viral, and there's so much that's fake on the internet. But when you see it in real life, like a real life Jolene in your spin class and a real life Jolene is teaching your spin class, it's that much more inspirational and impactful. So the more time you spend around women in these spaces like fitness classes, the more it will motivate you. And I think it's great that Jolene has shared so much on her channel, even though she hasn't uploaded in a while. Jolene is really just doing good old-fashioned exercises, eating right, and basic skincare. Everything she suggests is very affordable and accessible to the vast majority of people, and I just love her no-frills approach to wellness. So by now, you've probably heard of Brian Johnson, the billionaire who is obsessed with aging in reverse or biohacking, and he has a $2 million a year wellness routine. He kind of freaks me out, I'm not gonna lie. But did you know there's a woman who's actually doing a better job than him, who makes under $100,000 a year, and she spends under $150 a month doing so, pretty much just on some supplements and her gym membership. So Julie Gibson Clark is a major health inspiration. Based in Arizona, the single mom has found a way to make biohacking feasible for everyone. So for every 100 days that go by, Julie's body only ages at the pace of 65 days, which is why they say she's aging in reverse or biohacking. She has a really easy to follow website where she outlines all of her routines, supplements, and some meal ideas. I really recommend that you check it out for yourself. I don't just want to repeat everything on the website, but some of her cornerstones are a diet high in vegetables, 1 pound per day, daily sauna sessions, adequate sleep, and affordable supplement. She also details her skincare and her favorite books about longevity on her website. Julie looks amazing, and I'm sure she feels even better. And she's another great example of how taking care of yourself will help you age well or even age in reverse. So in conclusion, I wanted to make this video to really emphasize the importance of a healthy lifestyle and how that really is the key to beauty, not only now, but as you get older. And not only beauty, but also quality of life. So instead of rushing to the med spa for whatever new, expensive, unproven procedure is supposed to prevent your skin from aging too quickly, or buying tons of designer skincare from Sephora, try moving more, eating fresh whole foods, cutting back on sugar, and ditching the cigarettes, vapes, and drinks. And remember, it takes 21 days to form a habit. So be diligent in creating the beauty and quality of life that you want for yourself. Let me know what you thought of this video, and do you have anyone you look up to for aging well, especially anyone who isn't a celebrity? I'd love to do a part 2 of this, if possible, with other women who are aging well and are an inspiration. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.